Welcome, everybody. It is Beyond the Barricade, and I am your host, Papa Dank, aka the 23-6 YouTube heavyweight champion of the world. How you doing, everybody? I did not lose the title this weekend. I am still the champion, just so everybody knows. All right, without further ado, let me bring on my very special guest of the night, and it is hot in here in my apartment. I am sweating. But anyway, let me bring you the one, the only, Elsey. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Woo, melting over here, brother. Melting.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's kind of cool here in Amarillo, Texas.
Really? Usually it's the opposite. It's cool
Well,
here.
the reason is because it's a Tri-State Fair week coming up, and every fall when the Tri-State Fair comes to town, it automatically gets cloudy and starts raining, and just like clockwork, it has started today.
Woo! All right. Now let's start off with your company, SCP. What does it stand for, first of all? So everybody knows.
SCP stands for Squared Circle Pro.
Squared Circle Pro. All right. So tell me how you fell in love with professional wrestling and how Squared Circle Pro came to be.
Okay, well, I am 51 years old, and
me too.
Yeah. In 1977, I attended my first wrestling event here in Amarillo, the old Funk territory. Terry and Dory and their father, Dory Sr., they used to run out at the old sports arena at the fairgrounds, and I attended my first wrestling match on December 17th, 1977, and I fell in love with it immediately as a 6-year-old child. And from that point forward, wrestling was a part of my everyday life. The shows were weekly here in Amarillo. We had access. Luckily, my family had access to a satellite very early. So since I had satellite, I got to watch world-class championship wrestling out of Dallas. I got to watch Paul Bosch out of Houston. I got to watch CWA out of Memphis. I got to watch Mid-South. I got to watch Jim Crockett. I got to watch championship wrestling from Florida. I even got to see some Pacific Northwest. And I was very much a fan of Southern wrestling. And then, of course, when the rock and wrestling era hit and Hogan got big, that became all the rage. And everything kind of just snowballed from there. And I've been a fan ever since then. And then about 2006, I started going to, 2005, I started going to a local indie promotion that had just started up in my town. And I was just going as a fan, but they had a message board. And so I used to review the shows on their message board. And I used to do some fantasy booking on their message board. And they ended up getting a hold of me and asking me if I would book their show. And so I started with them and ran that. I did that for about 4 years here in town. And then a group opened up in Lubbock and asked me to come book for them. And I've been with them now for 13 years. And it's been amazing. And I absolutely love indie wrestling. I think it's amazing. I like it better than televised wrestling. To me, indie wrestling is really where it's at, because on indie wrestling, it's hard to hide. It's hard to hide behind bells and whistles. And I feel like televised wrestling hides behind bells and whistles because you've got giant screens and pyro and LED all over the place. And, all the music and the pomp and the circumstance, but a lot of times the product's not great.
Right.
And on the indie scene, you don't get that stuff generally. So your product has to be good. And that's what at SCP, the way that we look at it is we try to bring an old school fundamental to the philosophy of the booking, but we allow the wrestlers to embrace some of the modern style. But a lot of the angles and the stories are very much inspired by the late 70s to the early 90s.
Okay, okay. What kind of wrestling has inspired you the most? If you had to say what style?
Uh, I love the booking of Southern wrestling. I think that Southern wrestling was where I think the fans are more invested because Southern wrestling is more tangible.
Hmm.
That you can, it's a lot more family driven. You wronged my daddy, you wronged my brother, that type of stuff. But people can embrace things like that, and it becomes more tangible for people to get involved. So I love that storytelling, but the in ring product, I probably am more influenced by the days of world class championship wrestling with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds,
Hmm.
Florida with Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan. That type of stuff is probably my wheelhouse.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about this event coming up, uh, September 16th, this Saturday.
Yes, it's this Saturday, and it's actually my birthday as well. I'll be 52.
Happy birthday! Awesome, and you get to celebrate it doing what you love best, being
I
involved in
do. I,
wrestling.
I do. I get to celebrate it being involved in the wrestling.
Now let's talk about this match. There's a fatal four-way tag team challenge match, right? Tell me how
Yes.
this match came about.
Well, we have a tag team championship that is currently vacant,
Mhm.
and we are about to elevate that title from just being the Squared Circle Pro Tag Team Championship to being the West Texas Tag Team Championship, and it will be shared by us and another promotion that we work with. We will share those tag team champions. So we wanted to make the titles a little bit more regional and not so much nailed down to one show.
I think
And so with these vacant belts, we're going to be having a tournament all next year. It's going to run from January to September.
uh,
And this match, this fatal four way, is going to yield a winning team that will receive a bye through the first round of the tournament. And then at our next event, Pieces for Quitters on November 18th, we will have another four way that will yield a second team to receive a bye. And then we'll have 16 teams battle for the next 8 months.
wow. Look, you got a comment over here from Marcus. I'll see you there, Rick.
Hey, Marcus. I know Marcus.
I know Marcus too. That's awesome. Wrestling really brings people together because I met
Oh, it does.
Marcus and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I met you. So it's like crazy. Like I'm in New York, you guys are in Texas. I have friends in Arkansas and California. I'm everywhere now. It's awesome
That's
how wrestling
awesome.
brings people together, man. Good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Now you got Johnny Santos, El Hombre.
There's a New York boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard of Johnny, that's for sure. I haven't had
Yeah.
him on, but I've heard of him.
Well, Johnny is coming to SCP this coming Saturday, and I think he's bringing all those belts with him. But
How,
he's coming to SCP to test his metal down here in Texas.
how is he going to get that to the airport? That's what I want to
I
know.
don't know. I don't know. It'll be an interesting trip through customs.
He's going to have to drive, man. All right, here's another great match, a women's contention match. Misty Marks, who is awesome, and so is Oliver Vegas. I know both of them. Tell me how this match
Yes.
came about.
This is one of two matches on the show that are contention matches for the women's division.
Uh-huh.
Our women's championship is currently vacant, and we are going to fill that vacancy. And in order to do so, we're having two matches. The first is going to be, of course, Misty Marks taking on Olivia Vagos.
All right.
And of course, she'll have Raisa Clark, her tag team partner, in her corner. They're the Divas of Destruction. And the winner of that match will advance to face, or to be one of two opponents to face Anastasia Morningstar. The other one is going to be the Skylar Slice versus Raisa Clark match. Of course, Raisa will have Olivia Vegas in her corner. And like I said, two of those four women will go on to triple threat with Anastasia Morningstar, and we will have a new champion.
I know I had that graphic somewhere. I can't find a graphic. I'll look at it as we keep rolling along.
Yeah, you're fine.
We have JC Bravo with Emilio Guzman versus Cesar
Yep.
Torres. Tell me how's this
Yeah,
match came about.
well, these guys are a trio that has been referred to as Los Carnales for years in the West Texas area. They're all brothers,
Los
and
Carnales.
and you know, brothers sometimes get into spats, and sometimes they fight. And
That's true.
Cesar Torres and Emilio Guzman got sideways with each other late last year, and they've been going at it all year long at SCP. And JC's kind of been the guy in the middle trying to get his buddies, you know, to see their way to get over themselves and kind of get back to doing what they need to do. And in the process, this last show, JC took a nasty shot with a belt. And so now he's got issues with Cesar Torres, and we're going to have a good old-fashioned Barrio strap match.
Barrio strap match. Oh, man. Can anybody watch this? Like, if you're like me in Long Island, can we watch it like online?
Yes, you can. You can go to www.heckyeahradio.com, and on that main page there is a tab that you can click that says SCP Pay-Per-View, and it is clicked to a YouTube link, and you can watch the show for free.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out. Here's one of my pals, Anastasia Morningstar.
Anastasia Morningstar has been destroying the competition in SCP now for a good 2 years. Our crowd is absolutely petrified of her. I'm petrified of her. She is a badass. She is a badass. You do not want to mess with her. She's a badass. And I would say the odds are she's walking out with the title. No matter who gets in there.
I would say the same. We did the big event before, like right before the pandemic started. It was like the month before they shut everything down. And we had to share a table together, and she was making me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. She's making me nervous.
She's awesome.
She is awesome, though. All right, we got a 6-man tag team match as well. We got La Migra versus Island Rage.
That's correct. Yes, we have the trio of La Migra, El Gringo Loco, Charlie 50, and Diablo Blanco, with Veronica Vega in their corner. They're taking on Island Rage, Baby Samoa, and Brian Rage Rivera, who is a New York boy. And they are looking for a partner. So hopefully they can find a third. Otherwise, they're going to have to go 2-on-3.
Maybe Johnny Santos, maybe.
Who knows? There may be a connection between those New York boys. Who knows?
You know, it's been one of my dreams to actually book a wrestling show. So you know, I'm working on it. I'm working on it someday. All right, let's go to the next match. We got a singles challenge: the Living Proof Jason Taylor versus Nate Collins.
Yes, this is a match between two men who, in their respective areas, Justin being West Texas and Nate being East Texas, these are the measuring sticks of their areas, and this is a first-time matchup. They have never been in the ring together. Really? And so this is going to take place live at Jake's Back Room Saturday night at SCP's birth anniversary, and I can tell you, this is probably going to be the match that steals the show for me, because I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Then I think this is the last graphic I have, man. We got the one and only Gino Rivera, aka Gino Told You So, versus Chris Watson.
Yeah, you got Gino Rivera. He is the current HYR Heck Yeah Radio champion, and he is going to be facing Chris Watson. Now, those guys have been banging heads for the last year and a half, and this is a blood feud at this point. And this is coming up. Yeah, Chris is going to have to pull something out here, because he's coming up on, maybe this may be his last opportunity at Gino. So this is a big match. There's a lot on the line here. Gino has held this title now for almost. Actually, this show will be his 1-year anniversary for holding this championship. And so that's going to be a good match. Watson is making a name for himself south of the border, working for some of the Hispanic promotions, and a little bit, in West Texas as well. So these two are up and coming guys, and they're all over the place. We're real excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. I had Gino on before, but he's all over the place. Even after our podcast together, I'm like, oh shit, Gino's there, Gino's everywhere. And
Now,
he's got some New York connections because he knows New York wrestlers over here.
That's true. Now, if you want, I can real quickly kind of take you through the last few matches on this card.
Let's do it.
We've got Avon Axel. He is going to be facing Cappuccino Jones. This is a singles challenge. Cappuccino Jones is a Oklahoma boy who's making his debut in West Texas, and Avon Axel is one half of Los Crudos along with the Sauce. They wrestle all over, so that should be interesting. We also have on this card a triple threat. We have Luchador Ankler versus TJ Slater, superset, and JKM. So you've got three guys there that are having a triple threat. And Ankler's been in our promotion now for over a year. JKM is just making he just made his debut at our last event, as did TJ Slater. So this is more about making an impact for this match. We also have Gabriel Alexander, the Defender of Truth, is facing Lau. This is a blood feud. These are two guys who used to be friends. Lau used to be Sean Lau, but he recently just turned into some kind of a Great Muta type monster. He started blowing mist in everybody's faces. He's changed his appearance completely. He comes out from under the ring. He comes from behind through the curtains. He's been laying waste to people, and this is Gabriel's first opportunity. So this is a grudge match for these two. And then we have our top two matches of the night. We have for the SCP Championship, our champion Ryan Justice is defending the title in a triple threat versus Elsey Mox and former AEW star Fuego del Sol.
Wow, man. Dude, you guys got a stacked show there, man. How many matches total?
It's 12 total. 12 total matches. And then on top of that, we have the attraction main event of the night, which is our steel cage match. It's going to be the team of Phoenix and Aaron Harms, and they're going to be facing Damo McCullough and Bam Bam Malone with Nolan Phillips. This is a handicap steel cage 3-on-2, and that is our attraction main event. The only other thing that we have advertised for this show that I kind of want to, make sure that we mention is we put out an ad saying that we were going to have a massive announcement for this show. And when I say massive announcement, that is on purpose, because what we're going to announce is not just there's a what involved, but there's also a who involved. And if you're a West Texas or a Texas person, or you follow Texas indie wrestling, there are quite a few super heavyweight big guys in this state, this area, in Oklahoma as well. And one of them in particular has made a lot of waves, and he may or may not be showing up at this show. So could have something really big.
All right, and when's that supposed to drop for everyone?
That'll be that night. It'll be at Birthiversary, and it's going to happen live at the show. We're trying real hard not to give too much away, because I want to hear the pop from the crowd when the music hits. But awesome. It's going to be good. But this is our anniversary show, Birthiversary. It's kind of our penultimate show of the year. Pieces for Quitters on November 18th. That's always kind of our big show of the year. It's the last show of the year to wrap everything up. But this is the year where we're kind of we've been messing around in the air in kind of in the area of bringing in legends and bringing in Hall of Famers, and we didn't do a whole lot of that in our first like 11 years.
Right.
We just kind of relied on our own talent. But on November 18th, obviously you see Fuego del Sol on this show.
Dude,
But on November 18th,
just want to throw in there, I am a huge Fuego fan.
well,
Huge.
It's going to be good. I mean, I'm happy he agreed to come in. But on November 18th, and we're going to talk about a little bit at this show as well, so you'll see it on the pay-per-view or on the stream.
Okay.
On November 18th, Hall of Famer Medusa will be making her appearance at Pieces for Quitters for the second year in a row, because she was here last year for Pieces for Quitters. So she's coming in to do a book signing. We're going to talk about that. But
awesome.
that's going to be kind of the doorway to 2024. In 2024, I can tell you this, for the fans of West Texas or anybody that wants to watch our stream on heckyeahradio.com, in 2024, you will see no less than 8 legend Hall of Famers throughout the year make appearances on our events. I've been working painstakingly to secure names for 2024 because we're really going to turn the volume up at SCP.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Let's talk about one thing. If you had to book, I'm not going to talk Hall of Famers, so I know you got to keep that closely guarded right now.
Sure.
Let's talk about indie talent. If you had to book a couple of indie talents for your promotion, who would you choose and why?
Well, okay. I'll tell you, there's one name on the indie scene that I feel like is a huge draw. And I would love to have him at SCP if I could get the opportunity. And I consider him a self-made draw, and that is Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona.
I think Matt Cardona has carved a niche for himself that I think that if he was to ever go to one of the major promotions, he would probably be taking a step backwards because he is everywhere. He's everywhere.
I think I agree with you. He is fully booked. He says, I'm fully booked.
Yeah, if you go all the way back to 2001 when WWF purchased WCW, they offered AJ Styles a developmental deal coming out of the ashes of WCW, and he didn't want to take it because he could make more on the indie scene. And so, he spent a good deal of time on the indies, and then TNA started, and of course he went from there. But Cardona, man, that guy is banking. He is everywhere. And I feel like if he was to go back or sign with a major promotion, they'd cut his knees out from under him again, and he wouldn't be doing near what he's doing now, because right now he's his own boss.
Yeah, he's definitely got. Plus, he's got major parties running.
Yeah, so I mean that guy, I love that guy. I'd love to have him. One name that I would like to have back, that we have had a couple appearances through the years at SCP, who is a very big name on the indies, Sam Adonis, who has wrestled at MLW, the NWA, AAA. He's gone to Japan. The younger brother of Corey Graves of WWE. Sam Adonis is an awesome name, and I'd love to have him on any kind of regular basis.
Okay, awesome. What about female talent?
Female talent, now that's interesting that you should say that, because this year was the first year of our full-fledged women's division at SCP. We are the only West Texas promotion with a full-fledged women's division. I've got 15 girls that go in and out of my promotion. They have 3 matches per event. They have 18 matches in the year minimum, and 3 of them are main events, guaranteed. And so with all of that going on, this coming in 2024, we are going to have it. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead. You're going to be one of the first to hear this.
All right, hold on. I'm going to put the breaking news.
Yeah, in 2024, SCP will be hosting a women's only event, and it will be on July 19th, and it's going to be titled Equal Rights and Lefts.
All right.
and it will be on July 19th of 2024 as part of what we are calling the Battle of the Sexes weekend, as the next night, Saturday night, July 20th, is our regular summer event, Headlocks and Heat Waves. So those two shows will be back to back, 2 nights, the same venue. And I will tell you right now, one of the events that we're going to have for that women's show, that women's only event, we are going to have a women's death match, and I have already secured Mickey Knuckles.
Awesome, man. You're doing great over there, man. I love to hear that the women's division is thriving out there. There are a lot of companies up here in the Northeast that don't have that.
I think that women's wrestling right now is hitting a stride. It's popular. People enjoy it, and more times than not, I mean, I'm look, no disrespect to the guys in the locker room, but more times than not, those women go out there and they show the guys up.
They do, man.
Because the thing is that here's what people don't understand about why women's wrestling is so cool right now. Because people have moved away from the fluffiness of the old women's wrestling, and they're being treated like athletes. They're getting to do the athletic stuff. And because they're girls, and because they're no longer doing the diva stuff, can we turn the light back on?
The light went off. The lights went out in Texas.
But the women, more times than not, they have to be a little rougher, a little stiffer, and work a little harder to get the respect that the guys are kind of just given sometimes. And so I feel like when those girls go out there, man, they've got something to prove every time they go out. Absolutely. And that's why you're getting quality every time they're out there.
Absolutely. If you had to choose another female talent in the indie scene right now, who would you bring aboard?
There's 3 women that I would love to work with right away, and I'll just tell you all 3 names because I'd love to work with all of them. I'd love to work with Genocide. I would love to work with Max the Impaler, and I would love to work with Camille.
Oh, Camille. Okay. Awesome.
I love all 3 of those are amazing names that honestly, I look at all 3 of those and how those 3 aren't currently either signed to WWE or AEW. I don't understand.
Camille, she just left NWA, right?
Well, she just lost the title, but right. I don't know that she left. I know she lost the belt.
Right.
And if she goes somewhere, whoever gets her, they've got, I mean, come on. I mean, you can seriously tell me that like Camille versus Charlotte Flair wouldn't kill, or that Camille versus Dr. Britt Baker wouldn't kill. Oh, I mean, how she has languished for so long in the NWA and not gotten picked up is, I don't even understand how that happens.
I don't understand that either. So that makes 2 of us, bud. Hey man, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you. Where can everybody go follow you as well as SCP?
Well, I have a Facebook. It's under my name, Rick Elsey. And our Facebook for Squared Circle Pro is just that, Squared Circle Pro on Facebook. You can look up both of them. You can also catch me through Heck Yeah Radio, www.heckyeahradio.com. In addition to having Heck Yeah Radio as our production company for SCP that records and broadcasts our events, they also host a My Wrestling radio show, Ringside, with Wrestling Rick and Mr. Enel, which will actually be live this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. on www.heckyeahradio.com.
Awesome, man. And what's the next show coming up after this one?
Is November 18th, Pieces for Quitters. Okay. And that will wrap up 2023. And then in 2024, we have 7 dates. And normally we just do 6, but because we're having that weekend with the all women's show in front of it, we're actually having 7 next year.
Okay, awesome. Marcus says you're killing it, Rick. Best of luck Saturday. Marcus, you will be there to watch it.
Dude, I really hope Marcus is going to come. Are you coming on your own, Marcus, or am I taking you? Let me know if you're coming with me or you're coming by yourself.
Marcus, let him know. Let him know, Marcus. Marcus is a great guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I'm super excited for him to see this show because this show's gonna kill it.
Awesome, man. I gotta make my way and see a Texas show on my own, man. Misty and I will be
Absolutely.
there.
If you ever come, dude, if you ever come our way, let me know, and I'll make sure you got great seats.
Awesome, man. If you want to promote your shows, you want us to have them on, just get in touch with Serena. She'll get them on, and we'll do that for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll hit you up. I
Awesome.
appreciate that. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for the
No
opportunity to get the
problem.
show out there.
Thank you for coming on. And I just had a new friend in wrestling, so that's awesome for me, man. I'm so
Absolutely,
excited. I want to give a shout out
absolutely.
quickly to before I go into what got coming up. I will be at Titan Championship Wrestling, but more of that in a moment. But this cool logo was put together for me by Logos by Hunter. Make sure you hit him up for your logo needs. Logos by Hunter. He also did this thing for me, which I thought was pretty cool. Not bad, not bad, not bad, right? Also, next week, I have the one and only, speaking of women's division, I think you should put this name on your list. Just saying, my pal, she's coming back next Tuesday. The one and only Brittany Brooks is coming back, and she has something to say that we are involved in a project together. So make sure you tune in next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the one, the only Brittany Brooks, who's taking the West Coast by storm, Rick. She's all over the place, too.
Very good, very good.
She's all over. And this Saturday, I am going to Blaze of Glory for Titan Championship Wrestling, Goddesses of War Wrestling, as they are teaming up to do 4 matches each for Blaze of Glory this Saturday, September 16th. Make sure you use that QR code to get your tickets, or go to Titan Championship Wrestling to get your tickets for this Saturday's event, featuring a lot of great stars, including the one, the only, even though he flips my tables over at every event, Anthony Gangon right there, bud. PJ Savage, my buddy right there, PJ Savage. I got Tiffany Avatar there, Marie Valdemoni, Adina Steele, a lot of people coming out. Taylor One Shot. Make sure you go to Titan Championship Wrestling to get your tickets, as I am not only there, I am the official podcast of this event, Rick.
Awesome.
That's a lot to say in one sentence, bud.
That is. That's a lot.
Also coming up, I was at SWA this last Saturday, where I filmed my latest vlog interaction elimination, where here I am with Lissy for the after credit scene. You're not going to want to miss that. And there was even a halal food truck there, bud, with great food. That was awesome, man.
Way to go.
And my home promotion right here is coming up in October. Victory Pro Wrestling presents Hallowed Ground. Make sure you go to victoryprowrestling.com to get your tickets now, as we got the one and only Jack Tomlinson, who was the VPW champion and social media champion, and the leading man, as he didn't make the last event. He was actually in an actual play, starring in a play. That Jack is so popular, man. Come see all your favorite Victory Pro Wrestling stars for Hallowed Ground, including Desmond Cole, the Rat Bastards, Valentina Vasquez, in Wilting Tatiana, Salem, the artist Jake Lang, the one and only Kay Lothbrock, and of course, Eric James. Whew. A lot to say, bud. Everybody else, have a good night. I will be back Thursday with Harleen Lopez. She's coming back on the podcast for Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month. So you're not going to want to miss that event. Rick, stay on for a second. Everybody else, have a good night.